Take a break from takeout. Enjoy the flavors you love right from your own kitchen.
Joining us now is personal chef Bill Collins from chefbill.com. We are making vegetarian pot stickers.
Yes, we are.
Love it.
Yep, this is just a terrific recipe, and it's very simple. And the great thing about pot stickers and dumplings in general is if you ask 10 people for a recipe, you'll get actually 12 different recipes.
Some people have extras.
Exactly, and across so many cultures too, you know, pierogi or kreplach or ravioli, it's the idea of the wrapper filled and then however you decide to cook it.
But why is it called a pot sticker?
Pot sticker. Oh, you had to ask me the one question.
And it doesn't stick to the pot, right?
I
hope.
It sticks to the pot if you don't do it right.
Okay, that's why.
Exactly, and I'll show you afterwards how to keep them from sticking to the pot.
All right.
Not afterwards, I'll show you a little later. But it really is a very simple recipe, and for me, for this recipe, because it is very Asian, these are Japanese because they're the round ones. If you can't find the round ones, most supermarkets, actually all supermarkets have square ones, and so just do it very similar, just fold them over corner to corner. But the round ones, the gyoza, as they call it, the Japanese ones.
Okay.
And this particular filling, I think the flavors that stand out in this are fresh ginger and sesame oil. And between the two, you can't go wrong.
I was reading an article yesterday that said ginger can increase your metabolism.
Yes.
So I'm eating a lot.
Ginger is one of the great unknown things that really does have a lot of medicinal properties to it. So, and it tastes great too.
It does taste great.
So what I like to do is I like to set up a bit of an assembly line.
Yes.
So the bigger board, and if you don't have a cutting board, just do it right on your clean countertop.
Okay.
But what I like to do is just take a little bit of filling.
And what else is in that filling?
Oh, that's a good idea. I've got some bok choy. I use baby bok choy. I get it in most supermarkets. Say you can't find the baby bok choy, go with regular size bok choy. Because what I do is I cut up the stems and I cut up the leaves. So I've got that. I've got a little of your favorite, Ashley, some cilantro.
I knew that was in there.
You knew that was going to be in there.
I could just see it in there, yeah.
Yeah, I got some cilantro. I've got some grated carrot. Now, in this case, you can go with shredded. I like it to be a little more finely grated. And I've got some ginger, garlic. There's so many things. You can even put in shrimp or anything you want that would take away the vegetarian part of it.
That's true.
So then what I do is just run my finger. You can go halfway around or all the way around, because you just need to fold it over to seal it. I'm going to put a little more in there.
See, my problem would be the overfilling.
Well, then,
always my problem.
Exactly. So once you do the first one, you say, oh yeah, that doesn't quite look like the right amount.
That's
so
true.
A little too much, a little too little.
Now you pre-cook everything that's inside, right?
No, none of it. No, you don't. You don't pre-cook anything.
Oh,
Even
okay.
if you now, just want to show you this part is you can either just flatten it down like that, or I like to kind of give it a little bit of a pinch, just kind of fold.
Oh, that's classy.
And that way, it just kind of sits and has that look like that.
It's like a clutch
Yes.
that you might take out to dinner.
That's exactly what I like to think of it as. Thank you, Ashley.
Yes.
And yes, now you can call your clutch a dumpling.
Yes.
true.
Yes.
You might take my
Going out
dumpling
clubbing with my dumpling.
Don't leave home without my dumpling.
Exactly. So now, so if you want to try that, you can, but it's very easy to do.
Yeah, I
And-
would love to try it. Do you want to try too?
I'll let you do it first.
Okay. All right. So you just make a little half circle, right?
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
Chef Bill, if we're putting pork, if we're putting shrimp in this,
yep.
then do we cook the meat?
No,
and
I'm
the
glad
filling?
you said that, because I remember there's a question I wanted to answer for you. Because everything is ground up so small, because if you are going to be putting shrimp or pork in there, go with it or ground up. You can buy ground pork or just throw some of the shrimp in a food processor, because it's such a small amount in there, you're going to brown it first in the hot skillet. Oh, you've done this before.
No, I haven't.
That's
Oh,
very
wow.
I haven't.
Yeah, I've just been
It's
showed
just
up. I haven't
really
even done it
fun.
yet. May I?
All right. Of course you can.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. So just half of it, or you can do the
good. You
whole
can do
thing?
the whole
too?
thing if you want.
Okay.
There isn't a wrong way.
Well, now I'm really nervous because Ashley did such a great job.
Yeah, you should be. We now have a new standard.
It's
I
fun.
know.
It's like arts and crafts in the kitchen.
Okay, here we
Exactly.
go. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Well,
Oh, no,
as you
that's
always say, Chef Bill, you can't really mess it up, right?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
It's very
here we go.
forgiving.
Yeah, and just pinch along the way. And also, I found that sometimes if
Nice.
it seems like it's going to tip over, just push it down to flatten it down. See?
Yeah, but Ashley's looks prettier.
No, I like it. That's nice. All right, so we got to finish these off, right?
Sure.
Okay. So once we've got, how many do you think you'd make for one meal?
This recipe that I did, well, that's the great thing. This can make such a nice lighter meal on its own, but you can easily eat, 4, 5, or 6 of these.
Yeah, that's easy. I can do that.
But if you
Easily.
have other things with it, you might want to do a little fried rice or just so many other things. If this is a side dish, just a handful. But no matter how many you make, you can eat them all.
And if you have extra bok choy, there's nothing I think better than some good steamed or cooked bok choy, sautéed.
I love to saute bok choy just with a little saute up some onion first. throw in the bok choy, maybe a little garlic, and it's a great thing because you can buy very small bok choys, but not all, usually in an Asian market, but we don't always live near one. So if you go with a larger one, you can have lots of leftover. So all of this, things other than the bok choy, you'll find in your kitchen most of the time. But you're right, it makes a great side dish, or you can even just saute the bok choy to go with that meal.
Very
Now,
cool.
can this be frozen once you make a bunch of them, do you think, or no?
You know, funny you should ask, but I think the answer is yes. And now, if you were to freeze them, here's what I would do: is put them on a pan, put a little olive oil, well, actually, no, you don't have to do that, because if you're making these a bunch ahead of time, and put them on a sheet pan, put olive oil or a Pam spray to keep them from sticking.
Okay, yep.
But what you want to do is put these in the freezer, and maybe a little Pam spray, so when you take them out, give them a moment to thaw, and then with a flat thing like this cookie spatula, put them right underneath to make sure they don't tear.
Right.
That's the only thing you want to worry about. So once you get the freezing underway and they're frozen, you can put them in a bag, because otherwise, if you kind of put them in like this into the freezer, they'll all stick together.
And
So
there'll
you
be
want-
pan stickers.
They'll
or
be
freezer
a
stickers.
mush
you know?
sticker. So you want to be careful of that. So yes, I think it's a great idea to freeze them ahead of time, because
Okay.
especially if you're having a party, you don't want to be there at the last minute doing all of these.
Right,
So
exactly. Stress-free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is just a very simple way to go.
All right, so now the next step is cooking them, right?
Next step is cooking them. And what we do is you start them in the skillet. And what I like to do is get the skillet nice and warm, which I haven't done yet. And there are 2 steps to doing it, and the whole process takes less than 10 minutes.
Well, can you do it in 2? Because we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Chef
can.
Bill and I and Ashley are going to finish up this recipe. Don't move. Welcome back to Massive Appeal. We're back in the kitchen with Chef Bill. We're finishing up our vegetarian pot stickers.
Yes, we are. Okay, so we've made our little pot stickers,
Yes,
and now
you-
we're going to cook them.
Absolutely. Very simple to do. It's 2 steps. First one is you take a bit of canola oil. You don't want to use olive oil, because this is going to be hot and the oil will burn.
Now,
So
what about peanut oil? Because I know that's an Asian.
That's a good one. Yep.
Okay, you can use peanut oil. In
Yes.
this.
Yep.
Okay.
You just want a heartier oil than the olive oil.
With a high burning temperature,
Yep.
with a high flame temperature.
Exactly.
Smoke point. There we
so
go.
you can hear the sizzle going,
Nice sizzle.
because what you want to have happen is you just want this to brown a little bit in the bottom. And that takes about 3 minutes, which is about 1 minute more than we have.
That's okay.
So, but that's fine. And so in a large skillet like this, you can fit about 14 or 15 of those in there.
Nice.
And so what that does for you is you can do a whole bunch at once. You can serve them room temperature, you can serve them warm. They're really a very easy way to go. Now, one thing you talk about, pot stickers, is it's very easy if you take your attention away for just a moment that these might stick to the bottom of the pan. That's why I like to use a little metal spatula, and better than the plastic ones because those are too thick, and just to kind of check them to make sure they're not sticking.
Okay, that's a handy little tool you got.
Yep, and now the second step of this is you're going to be adding about a half a cup of water to this once they've browned.
Right.
Really?
Because at that point, they're going to steam. And that's why when you asked earlier about if you have to pre-cook the ingredients for pork or shrimp, you don't, because a lot of steam's going on, and that's how they're going to finish their cooking.
That looks great.
Such
So-
a healthy way to cook them,
It
too.
really is, because just a little bit of oil for the whole thing. And so, but one thing you want to be careful of is when you pour the water in there, especially if you have a little too much olive oil, hold the pan away from you, because you're going to be hearing a loud sizzle, and you don't want to get splattered. So that's why I'm going to do this
Here it
right
goes.
now.
We need our safety goggles today.
Exactly. And so just throw some of that in. And now I'm going to turn the temperature down a little bit, and then
Okay.
just steam it for about 7 minutes or so.
And then you'll be good to go in the look like this. And I cannot wait
Yep,
to try
and
one
we've got a
of
little
these.
dipping sauce
Dipping
there.
sauce? Look at that.
And the dipping sauce is easy. Just a little black
So good.
vinegar, soy sauce, and sesame oil. Just a little bit. I put some agave in, but you can use honey or maybe a little sugar. And it's really just a very simple dipping sauce and a very simple recipe to make.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
sharing
Chef
it,
Bill.
Well, thank
Bill.
you.
It looks so yummy, and it's healthy, too.
It
I love
is.
it.